comfy place to sit. Remember, you can sit on the ground or on a block if you have one, or a cushion. Legs in front, legs tucked under. If you're not quite awake yet, you can have your back to a wall. There's a little bit of twisting, but it's right at the end of the breath work. So let's begin by just giving the shoulders a little wriggle, loosening off, and taking some deep breaths up and down the spine. Your in-breath, roll up into the top of your head. And your out-breath, roll down into your sit bones. Little pattern for the breath. We're going to take a deep breath in for 4. Hold at the top for 2. Release for 4. And hold at the bottom for 2. Feeling that control you can take over your breath, with both an empty and a full pause. That is very helpful, Jasper, thank you. Let your breaths come into a natural, steady rhythm that works for you. Now drop the ear to the shoulder, empty all the breath away. We're going to use a long breath in to come over the top and empty all the breath away at the other side. So it's a really slow and steady flow through the neck. If you want to continue to flow this, and that's what I want you to do, if you want to bring it into a little bit more of a hold, a bit of a deeper release, you can bring the head across, and then we're going to take the hand over the top. And imagine you're really lightly drawing up, fingertips just underneath your jaw, so you're bringing the base of your ear away from your shoulder to stretch. I'm going to release it, lightly lift the head to the top. Remember which side you did, and then come back to that flow. See if you notice the difference now from one side to the other. You might feel a little bit lopsided. When you're ready, same thing. If you did it on one side, you're going to want to do it on the other. You could just hold without the assistance through the hand as well. As you're breathing out, think about this shoulder melting down a little bit more. Gentle release using your hand, and then let's just go back to the flow and see if it feels a little bit more balanced. As you come to center, let chin come to chest. We breathe out, we imagine letting go of the weight of the head more. And if you want to flow here, we're going to take a gentle rock of the head from side to side, almost like you're lifting your chin out to the left and the right. When you find the middle, big breath in and up, shoulder rolls, big breath in, lift them up. Breathe out, gently squeeze your shoulder blades together as they roll back and down. Next time they come back, let's hold them there. Let's reach the arms out to the side with the palms forward. And what we're going to do is we're going to keep our weight sat in the center of our hips. We're going to reach towards one arm, and then we're going to slide across the middle and reach towards the other. So you just feel the center of the body start to wake up and stretch as it moves in different directions. Coming back to the center, finding the center is sometimes the hard bit after that. Hands come in. We're going to do a wrist release, we're just with palm to palm. So shoulder, elbow, wrist, palm on palm, taking a big breath in. And as you breathe in out, just applying a light pressure. And releasing, giving those fingers a wiggle, maybe circling the wrist a little bit, releasing it all the way through into your shoulder. And we do the same thing with the other arm. So find that straight line, palm facing up, palm to palm. A big breath. And then as we breathe out, a light pressure. As you release it, taking that little wriggle and release. We're going to take a couple of lengthening breaths. So as we breathe in, we're going to reach up to the sky. As we breathe out, we're going to push upwards. You can keep the hands separate or you can push the palms away. We're going to let the arms come down and let all the breath empty that's left. 2 more, big breath in and up. Breathe out, push away. Big breath in, get a little longer. Let the breath go and shake any residue. Yeah, 1 more. Last one for the breath is the twist I mentioned at the beginning. So take a breath, turn towards one side, hold on lightly where you're comfortable and stay there until all your breath is left. We breathe in to come the other way. And again, we hold here till the breath has gone. Come into the center. We're going to unravel, we're going to come down to the ground and we're going to activate the core. If you want to come down onto your back, I'm just going to tilt this a little bit. See what happens on your way down. Remember, anything clicking and clunking is just movement happening through our spine, bits and pieces waking up, especially if you've just got up. Feet in line with your hips. Take a moment to draw the belly button lightly to the spine and then just see if you need to slide the back of your hips a bit further away. Fingertips on your thighs. We're going to start with abdominal rolls. So we take a big breath in and as we breathe out, we slide. We inhale to come down. We breathe out and we slide up, looking towards the knees. Sliding your ribs towards your hips.
feeling that engagement in between. One more. As the weight of your head drops, allow your shoulders to drop as well and then let go. Give your knees a little draw up close to the chest and then hold them somewhere where you can release the legs. We just want to wake the legs up a little bit before we do the next one. So give your toes a wiggle. And then push the ball of one foot to the sky and swap it over. So just take your legs for a little walk. See how they're feeling, particularly behind the knees. And we're going to push them both up to the sky, but we can keep as much knee bend as our legs are asking for at this moment in time. So we push the feet away, we see if our toes want to spread a little bit. Once again, you might want to slide the back of the hips away to give you this space to draw the belly down. One leg's going to stay where it is, the other one is going to push away. Open out to the side, come back in, and come back up. So it's push away, open, close, and lift. Push away, open, close, and lift. So keep that working side to side. What we focus on is working to a point where we can feel a challenge, but we don't feel like we're moving around a lot or creating an overarch in the base of the body. If you would like to make it a little bit more intense, you could try both legs at the same time. Push away, open, close, and in. If you choose that option, you might want to begin by not going quite as far in your range, and then you can build from there. One more. A little hug, and we land the feet. The feet are going to go up there one more time, but we'll just give them a little rest and get the blood flow coming back through to them by anchoring them down into the floor, feet near the bum, floppy arms, and we'll do a couple of bridge rolls to wake up the spine. Pressing down through the feet, really getting the heels anchored in, breathing in, peeling your body off the floor from your hips up to your shoulders, and using your out breath to roll back down again. It often takes one or two to kind of gauge what's going on in there. Remember, if there is a bit where it feels a little bit clunky or it's resisting, then what we're going to do is we're going to see if we can slow down as we come down past that point. Press into the feet a little bit more and just give the breath a chance to really get into any sticky spots. You're going to take one more big roll or finish the one that you maybe just started, and then come back to that hug of the legs and continue to give your toes a wiggle. Let's get that awareness, that connection into our feet. And we've got one more exercise for the core before we come into our flow. So we're going to take the legs back up to the sky. Again, keep as much knee bend as you need. Floppy arms. We're going to think about drawing our belly down and pushing our heels up at the same time. The key is that we keep our feet kind of above our hips or slightly further away, and we avoid launching our feet to our head. That sometimes feels like quite good fun. It doesn't you don't get the same effect. So we take a big breath in, and as we breathe out, push your feet up, pull your belly down. small move, it's just controlled. 2 more. And then hook the knees. You can stay still or have a little rock from side to side for a moment. Actually, we'll put a little release in before you stand up. So if you have your knees nice and close, let them come to one side. Let the arms open up. Just check the opposite shoulder stays on the ground. If you need to, take the legs further away. Couple of big breaths. Releasing through the side of the body. Using a big breath in to squeeze your thighs together, draw them to the middle, and then go the other way. But it's the same thing. And then back to the middle. From there, you can bring yourself up gently. And think about flowing, so if you're on a mat, come to the top short end of it. If you're on the floor, just make sure you haven't got anything behind you you're going to step on or squash. And then come to the top of the space. Okay, top of your space, we're going to start off with our mountain out Tadasana, so we want our hips, centre around your pecs and ankles to pretty much align. We've been wiggling the toes this morning already, so let's see if they want to spread out, see if they've woken up a little bit. Natural arches in your feet. If you feel they're rolling in, we take the knees away a touch to engage from here. And then everything lifts. Knees lift out of ankles, hips out of knees, ribs out of hips. And roll back and down of your shoulders. Refine that. Okay, we're going to start with heel lifts. As we breathe in, we're going to press our fingertips down and lift our heels up at the same time. And then reverse it. Think about your body going straight up. Feel the shoulders drop. And give you more space in your neck. Next time your heels land, let them stay on the ground. Nice and tall, big breath in, we sweep the arms wide, palms pressed together. As we breathe out, we're going to fold down the middle. Bending the knees enough so that we feel folded. There's a connection between our top and bottom half. We drop the weight of the head to lengthen the neck, and we lightly press the bum back and up to stretch. We're going to take a little flow here between a supported half fold and a fold. So your hands are going to come to your shins or your thighs. You're going to breathe in, lift your belly, eyes forward, shoulders squeeze back, and then breathe out and roll back down again. I'm going to do 3 more of those. So we breathe in, we lengthen the spine. We breathe out, we go floppy. One more. Let the weight of the head drop again. Lift your hips back a little more. Hands are finding the ground. Your right foot is going to take a big step back. And then you're going to take your left foot back also, looking through towards your feet. We're in down dog, so the feet are hip distance apart. We're lifting out of our hands, squeezing our shoulders from our ears, and lifting our belly to help get our hips nice and high. Legs bent or straight, heels down or up. We can stay still for a moment. Our option this morning here is to pedal. One knee bends, the opposite heel sinks further away, and then you take a little walk. Come back to a neutral space where you get that lift in your hips, and as you breathe in, you're going to roll to high plank. You can stay here or land the knees. You breathe out, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Point your toes away. Take a light squeeze of your bum. Breathing into cobra, squeezing the shoulders back. Breathing out and down. 3 more. Breathing in. And out. So we're going to keep the hips on the ground, keep the lower body anchored. Try to create a lovely curve in the top of the back. On the last one, which is slide your hands forward so you can rest your head on them. You're going to tuck your toes underneath. If they won't fully tuck, just tuck them as far as they will tuck. Any type of connection is going to help you create this movement. As we breathe in, we're going to push the heels away. And as we breathe out, we're going to release that. You do get the work in the ankles, but it comes right up from the legs, from the base of the back. The stabilising exercise. Release them when you unrelease your feet. Take a moment to point your toes away so you get that freedom in your ankles. And then bring the hands under the body, push away from the ground, and let's come to all fours. Knees underneath the hips, hands underneath the shoulders for cat and cow. Breathing and scooping the belly up, creating a rounded spine. And then unraveling yourself the other way with your breath. Mindful, the key to this is moving at a speed that works for you, which is different for each individual, and it's different every day, different times of the day. Go with what it wants now. Find a neutral spine. And either take the knees wider for child's pose or back for extended puppy. Let the hips sink away. Let the arms lengthen and bring yourself closer to the ground. Head is going to be close to the ground or on it so we can anchor the mind. Body is supported, so let's take some really big breaths, expanding the belly. And using the exhale to sit the hips a little further back. Press into your hands, lift your body weight through. And see if we can navigate back to down dog. Knees soften, right foot takes a big step. Left foot follows, all lots of little baby steps. Don't let the body go floppy this morning. And as we breathe in, we're gonna roll. Eyes come up, shoulders roll back. Little shake. Okay, we're gonna take that once more, we're just gonna change the middle a little bit. So let's find our Tadasana, our strong mountain, and come back to the heel lifts. So remember, as we breathe in, heels come up and fingers press down.
Heels are going to stay down on the next one. We're going to breathe in and up through the spine. Breathe out and down through the body.
Tuck the chin, lift the hips back. And we're just going to take 2 of the little flow sequence. So hands to shins or thighs, big breath in.
Breathing out and down.
Big breath in. Tuck the chin, lift the hips back. This time, hands are finding the ground. We're going to push back with our left foot, get the length of that leg. Right foot's going to join. Finding your down dog. Let's get that lift out of the hands, strong upper body, shoulders roll away. Lift the belly to lift the hips. And if you want to take that pedal, we can take that pedal. Finding ground, neutral space, big breath into high plank. And remember, we can stay up here or we can land down. We breathe out.
Knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Okay, from here, we're going to lift ourselves up so we can bring one arm underneath. So my elbow is now underneath my shoulder. I'm going to fully turn onto that side of my body.
My elbow is lined up with my hip is lined up with my knee, and my knee is lined up with my foot.
What we're going to do from there is bend the bottom leg so that it's kind of in a right angle underneath you, it's a bit more stable. We're going to reach our fingertips up to the sky. As we breathe in, we're going to lift the bottom hip. As we breathe out, we're going to lower it. We're going to breathe in and lift. Out and lower. Keeping an eye on what's going on here, because that arm can move in or out, and most stable under the shoulder. And 4 on this side. And you're going to allow yourself to roll onto your front, come all the way around to the other side. And it's the same thing, so excuse my back, but elbow underneath shoulder, lining up your joints, bottom leg bending underneath, onto the sky, breathing in to lift up into your fingertips, and breathing out to come down. You can do it without tucking the other leg instead. It's just more intense that way, so it's entirely up to you. Just doing 4 and 4. And then you can roll back towards the front. This time hands come underneath and we push straight back to all 4s for cat and cow. Little side hover this morning. Roll your body with your breath when you're ready. We are sitting back, neutral spine. I need to sneeze. And sitting back to child's pose or extended puppy. Oh, sneeze is gone, might come back. Big belly breaths. Press into fingers, into palms, lift through body. Find your down dog.
Soften. Left foot followed by right, or lots of little baby steps. Floppy body. And a roll to the top. And a shake. Excuse me. Hopefully by this point we are definitely feeling more awake and connected to our physical bodies. We're just going to take ourselves back to what we began with, which was our heel lift. But what we're going to do is we're going to do a couple, and then we're going to see if we can just hold it at the top. Always finding our strong mountain position first. And when you're ready, like if you lift up your belly and you zip your inner thigh muscles up, they're going to help you to balance. Okay, when you're ready, you're going to go up. Your body's going to hold still. Your breath is going to continue to flow. Let your heels land. Turn your arms, so you're rolling the shoulders back so your palms come forward. Light softness in your knees. You're drawing through the belly. You're going to hinge from your hips. And then push through your feet to come back up to the top again. Yep, so the back stays lovely and long, the shoulders are back. Just one more. And release. So two things, we've got the heel lift and then we had a hip hinge. So we're going to do them both once more, but you have the option when it comes to the hip hinge of not landing the heels. Don't go as far. Showing you it now without doing a few before might be not a good idea. But your option is going to be to keep the heels lifted as you take the hip hinge. Okay, we'll do some heel lifts first. So, big breath in. And let go. When you're ready to go up and stay up, go up and stay up. Everything is lifting upwards, belly's drawn in, tailbone's tucked underneath. So we can land the heels first as we did before. Either way, the palms are going to turn forward, shoulders roll back. Light softness at the knees, drawing in the belly. And we hip hinge. And when you're ready, and give it a little roll. So there's a lot going on through the body there. If you hadn't noticed by this point, we are doing quite a lot of work through the ankles today. The ankles are stabilizing and activating. With that in mind, we're going to come into a goddess. So you're going to take your feet nice and wide. We turn the toes out 10 and 2-ish, mindful that we want our knees to align with our feet. So if we have a little play and our knees are dropping inwards, either bring your feet closer together or reduce the amount you've turned your toes out, perhaps a blend of the two. Find that right spot. Okay, pressing to the outside edges of your feet without lifting your big toe, so you have your arches. Belly zips up, shoulders come back. Big breath in. And as you breathe out, you're going to sink down through the legs. Breathing in, zipping up. And breathing out and down. Stay at the top, release the breath. Going to do that again, the option with the arms to stay loose or the hands to hold, but behind you. She's going to encourage the shoulders to roll back, the chest to lift up,
and put a little bit more emphasis on the core as we move. So big breath. And then go. Come to the top and stay there. Release. Once more, only this time, once we've done 3 or 4, we're going to hold at the bottom. It can be halfway down, not necessarily all the way down. And we're going to have the option to play around with picking our heels up off the floor a little bit. So hands can be loose, or hands can be behind. You decide. Big breath. And let's go. Stay down on this one. So you can hold still and breathe. Need to breathe anyway. Or try lifting one heel and then placing it down and then lifting the other. The key when we lift a heel is that our hips still stay pretty level and we're not leaning away from it. If you're unsure, you can always put your hands on your hips. If you want to, you can try both together. Maybe lift and hold, one leg or two. If you're on one, swap to the other one. And then land. Toes turn. Feet might want to be a little wider. We're going to do a wide fold, so as wide as you feel comfortable with. Hands at the hip creases as we tip. Halfway might be plenty, or you can keep easing the body down, figuring out where you want to be. So we're lifting the bum back and up, creating some space inside the legs and around the back. Big breaths. And there we are, going to put my teeth back in, transition to the ground. You might be happy to do it from where you are by bending the knees. Bring yourself down in a way that feels safe and comfortable for you. Okay, sitting on your bum, we're going to bring our body weight to one side. You're going to kind of open the legs so they're 90-90-ish. We don't have to commit to angles. The knees coming out from the hip, then the foot's coming out. We've got a light flexion in the ankle. We're doing the same thing over here. So there's some space behind the knees, basically. The hand on the leg, same side as the leg that I'm turning towards, is going to come to the ground underneath me. I'm going to keep a little softness in this elbow. I'm going to squeeze my bottom and press my hips forward. Okay, I can reach to the sky to create more space through the front of the body. I can reach over my head. If my body doesn't particularly want to lift, if I press my hips forward and reach, I'm going to start to create that same feeling anyway. Gently ease your bum down if it's lifted. Release the arm and then take a little swivel across from one side to the other. So the same thing. And this is one that you can do more than once. You can lift in and out of it, or you can hold for longer. Gently squeeze your bottom. And let yourself ease down. Give the shoulder a little shake. Come to the center again, this time bringing the base of the feet together and letting the knees drop out to the sides. So our bound angle, opening up in here as these fall away. You can use your hands like an extra spine behind you to hold you up. You can hold onto your legs or your feet. If you want, you can use your elbows to lightly press away through the legs. This is one, if you are feeling quite tight, you want to hold it for a longer period of time. If you sit with your back to a wall, You don't have to worry about your posture, your alignment has all been held, and you can just focus on breathing out and down through your legs. So that's an option as well. And you want to come away from this one, you take a big breath in and you use your hands to guide the knees together to release. From there, we are going to come down onto our backs. You can just flop when you're ready, or you can roll down, again to give your spine a little bit more attention. Your hands start just above your ankles, nothing behind you. You start to think about your bum coming closer to the floor first. As your hands come towards your knees, a light engagement in your belly, hands behind the thighs, and we roll. If you find yourself at the bottom, again, any clicks or clunks, to have a little shift around to where you want to be. One foot is going to stay on the floor, excuse me, the other one, we're going to push the foot to the sky. Okay, as much knee bend as you want to have, you need to hold on to this leg where you feel comfortable. Maybe a little bit of a stretch somewhere behind the leg. I'm going to draw it towards us until we find that. Big breaths. Encouraging your body to anchor into the ground from your head down to your hips. We're going to keep the breathing, we're going to keep the stretch, and I'm going to point the toes to the sky. Keep the breathing, keep the stretch, press your heel to the sky so your toes start to come towards you. And then choose a direction, keep the stretch, circles from the ankle. And then change direction. Bend the knee to the chest and land the foot. Let's try it again. This one stays on the ground, this is an anchor. Other one comes to the sky. Ooh, this is my stiffer one. Draw it towards you until you find some sort of stretch in the back of your leg, and then deep breaths. Keeping hold of the stretch, pointing the toes away, staying with steady breaths. And then changing that to pushing your heel away. Choose a direction, circles. Both ways. Oh, I don't know if that audio will have got as far as you, but my ankle just did a big click and clunk. In a good way. And then knee to chest and land the foot. Maybe even little tap-ins. Okay, both feet are going up together. Much knee bend as you like. Slide your bum away. Press away into the bottom of your feet. So you're pressing your open. Put my teeth back in again. Opening up the space between your toes. Belly's drawn down. Arms are down. And then slide your fingertips away from you so your shoulders come down as well. 3 or 4 really big breaths while we're here. Reclined Dandasana.
let your knees soften. One leg crosses over the other, and then you draw them towards you for a reverse pigeon. Take a look at which leg is on the top so you know for next time. Come back to where you were. Push into the bottom of the feet, slide the bum away, slide the fingers away, and draw down through the belly. My sneeze is still lingering somewhere in my nose, I can feel it. You're going to cross over with the other one. And drop the feet. You're ready to uncross. Feet land on the correct sides of the body. You're going to do one or maybe two really slow bridge rolls with big breath, just to let our spines relax and soften down into the ground. Long, steady breaths. If you feel you need to take another one, that's your body, go with your instincts. If you're good as you are, from there, you're going to let your body flop. You're finding that comfortable space for you to relax into. If there is any movements you need to take, I'm going to pop a jump on real quick, now's the time to do it. Have a little shift around. If your ab feels tight, bend your knees, have your feet on the floor, let your knees fall in. Might prefer to be on your side or seated today, it's entirely up to you. Find a space where you feel comfortable. Your spine is long. You've got an open chest for breath. Let your focus come into yourself by closing your eyes or gazing down. And let's bring our awareness back to our breath as it deepens. We listen to it and we feel it moving through the body. You begin to draw yourself away from distraction and to think about where your breath is beginning, right down the base of your belly, right down at your sit bones. Focus your breath and your awareness here. With your next breath, let your breath roll a little higher.
Your focus and your awareness is sitting in your belly. Let that awareness and breath roll a little higher to the base of our rib cage. Breath and awareness rolls up into the chest space, in towards where your heart sits. Feel the warmth of your breath expand through your rib cage. Softly working its way up into your throat space. You might notice different sounds of your breath as it moves across the throat, creating a freedom of space. Slowly drawing up into the space behind the center of your eyebrows. Bring some focus into your head space as you breathe. And finally bringing your focus up into the crown of your head. Let your breath roll up and down that line from the base of your belly, from your sit bones, all the way up into your crown with a big breath in. Let your out breath roll back down again. Try lifting your in-breath, bringing lots more energy up through that line and then letting it go so it can spread through the body. We're going to keep our awareness in this line. We're going to start to bring some movements back into the body wherever we see fit. You might wiggle fingers or toes, you might go straight in for a huge stretch or a hug of the knees. It's about following your instincts and doing what your mind suggests is right for you in the moment. Taking each movement with a breath for connection. And again, following your head space, what it suggests to give you a strong intention. Once you find your way to a seated posture that feels comfortable for you, again we roll the breath through the center of the body. If you're in a position to do so, you may wish to sweep your arms up to the sky with your in-breath. Out-breath, we come past those points, the crown, center of the brows, the throat, the heart, the ribs, the belly, into the sit bones. And sweep the breath to the sky. This time we're going to draw down to our heart space with love and gratitude in towards ourselves and out towards others. You may take a bow. Namaste. Namaste. Please may I move? Boop, boop.